I'm Emmanuel and welcome to today's session. In this video, we are diving into ISO 27001 Annex A 5.2, which focuses on information security roles and responsibilities. This is one of the easier controls to be able to implement, but it's also critical to get it right. Now, the Annex A 5.2 ensures everyone knows exactly what security tasks they are in charge of, so nothing falls through the crack. Stick around until the end, and I'll help you to be able to streamline this process. You will learn simple steps to map out and document each person's security duties. What is this standard about? At its core, the requirement is about defining who is responsible for different aspects of information security within our organization. But defining roles isn't just about naming them. It means that you are documenting them and assigning them to the right people. You need a clear list that says Alice handles backup and Bob handles incident response, so everyone knows who does what. The roles we need to establish typically falls into three main categories. 1. Implementation of the Information Security Management System, that is the ISMS. Now, this means that you are setting up the tool and the policy that makes your security program work. The second one is the operation of the ISMS on a daily basis. Now, these are the people who monitor everything each day, checking the logs, running the scans, and flagging issues. The third is oversight and governance to ensure ongoing compliance and improvement. And that is the leadership group that reviews performances, fixes the gaps, and steers future security efforts. Depending on your company's size, one person may cover multiple areas, or you might have an entire team. Even if you are a small business with just a handful of employees, yes, you do need to be able to have these roles and responsibilities. Every organization, whether big or small, must assign these duties. Otherwise, important security tasks might be missed. There are some roles that are mandatory, but the good news is that one person can hold multiple roles as long as there's no conflict of interest. For example, Emma could be both the information security manager and the business continuity manager if she can handle both roles responsibly. The key is to ensure proper segregation of duties so no single individual has an unchecked control over critical security decisions. Segregation of duties simply means that you are splitting tasks so no person doesn't both create and approve changes, which reduces the risk of mistakes or malicious actions. When you go to next, we're talking about separation of duties, so it's the same thing. Key roles in information security. So what roles do we actually need? Here are some of the key ones. You need a management review team. You need an information security manager. You need a business continuity manager. You need a supplier manager, and you need an HR manager. Now, what are some of the responsibilities of these key people? Now, when you are talking about the information security manager, or actually let's start from the management team. The management review team, this is the oversight group that ensures that security policies are followed, risks are reviewed, and continuous improvement is happening. Think of them as a board that meets regularly to check and to make sure that security is on track. Information security manager, the person responsible for implementing and maintaining the security framework. They write the policies, run the risk assessments, and be able to coordinate the security tasks. The business continuity manager. Now, they ensure that the organization can respond to disruptions effectively. If our systems go down, this manager makes sure you can keep operating. They maintain our backups, our recovery plans, and to make sure that our contingency plans are always in place. The supplier manager, these people manage the security risks related to our third-party vendors. They vet the suppliers, include security clauses in contracts, and review the vendor reports. Then we have the HR manager who handles most security responsibilities related to employees, such as the awareness and training, the access, and so on and so forth. Now, these roles will be defined on the Annex A controls that the organization selects as part of the risk-based approach. And I'm sure you are aware of risk-based approach because we talked about it in one of our videos. Once identified, they need to be properly documented and assigned. Choose only the role that maps to the control that you have implemented. Then record them in your security plan. Now, what are some of the best practices for assigning roles and responsibilities? When assigning security roles, you need to be able to have these practices in mind. The first one is competency matters. You need to ensure that the person assigned is capable of performing the role. Assign tasks to those with the right skills and provide the necessary training. 2, avoid conflict of interest. That is where our segregation of duty comes in. Segregate the duties where necessary. Don't have the same person who is doing the changes to approve that same changes or implementing the changes to approve those changes. 3, roles don't have to be in-house. You can use external consultants or third-party contractors to fill some positions. And this is where many companies fall short because they think that they need to be able to hire those staff. No. If you lack staff, you need to be able to hire specialists or manage services to be able to manage some part of your information system. Then the 4th is to be able to keep records up to date. One of the biggest mistakes organizations make is assigning roles but not updating them when employees leave. You need to review your role assignment whenever someone joins, moves, or leaves your organization. That is why your continually update or an annual update is very key and important. Common mistakes that we need to be able to avoid. When you're speaking of mistakes, there are 2 most common ones that many organizations fall short. 1, failing to document the roles properly. And the second one is not updating assignments. Now, when I say failing to document roles properly, I'm saying that it is not enough to just say that we have someone handling this. It needs to be clearly recorded. Assign the person, give them a name, use a role and responsibility matrix charts that everyone can see in your organization. And the second one is when you're talking about not updating assignments. If an assigned person leaves, their role should be reassigned immediately. It is especially important before an audit. An empty role slot can delay security tasks and cause non-compliance when auditor comes about. Now, that's a wrap for this section on ISO 27001 Annex A 5.2 Information Security Roles and Responsibilities. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.